Hi everyone, and welcome to Monday Night Stamping. Yes, we're back in our regular time slot. This is a place where we come together and we craft, we connect, and we have some fun chatting together. So make sure you say hello and that kind of thing, and let's make those connections, because that's the beautiful thing about this community that we've created here. My name is Lillian. I'm coming to you from Alberta, Canada. I call my stamping Facebook page Stamper's Niche, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today's date is August the 26th. Yes, it's the last Monday in August. I don't know if you can believe that. I can't. It is just flying by. And so it just made me stop and think about the summer and what's coming in the fall. And I had a nice time this afternoon sitting outside because it was just a perfect temperature and the sun was shining to be outside. So I hope you had a good day. Maybe you could share something you did today or in the last few days that brought you joy. All right, as you're doing that and connecting with each other, I'm going down to my desktop. So just hang tough with us for a little bit here as we switch things around. And here we go. It's always interesting. I have it all set up before we go live, and then just making that switch from my face back. Somehow everything goes sideways. There we go. Let's see, is this going to do it? Maybe. I'll turn this up just a little bit more. And oh, I'm so glad you're saying hi to each other. I love seeing your names flash across here. Perfect. Okay, dokie. I am going to make sure we're on the computer as well. And as we're doing that, the whole theme that I've stuck with this month has been Designer Series paper, sometimes known as DSP, Designer Series paper. And one of the reasons I chose this as my theme for the month of August is there's a great sale on. But as we just said, August is nearly over, so the sale is nearly over too. So these are the papers that are on sale for 15% off. So there are these ones here, some gorgeous ones, and then these ones here. So we've used quite a few of them during the month, and some of you have made some of the things and also shared your work. So I'm so glad of that. I love it when you share what you make with the ideas that we have shared here. So tonight, I am going to be using this one right here. It's called Mediterranean Blooms. And as I bring it up to the desktop here, it doesn't have to be one of these. What is one of your current favorite designer papers? Because we know that it changes all the time, but what's one that you find you're using right now? Maybe share that and see if somebody else has the same one. So let's take a look in person at this designer paper. It's called Mediterranean Blooms for a reason. It's got a real Mediterranean vibe to it. So we've got our oranges and our lemons. And then on the back side, we have all the blues in a mosaic kind of look here. So again, we've got the lemons, and I just love these color combos. And then we've got this on the back. So you've got lots of versatility here. So small little flowers there, and again, the mosaic. And then this one here, which is the one we're going to use tonight. And I'll explain why I chose this one later. And this is the back. And then we've got this one. And if you look in the catalog, you've likely seen samples anyway. You can fussy cut these out, but you can also use the dies to cut quite a few of these out. So you can make an easy card that way too. Same with these. These can be die cut or easily fussy cut out, and like that. So that's the paper. And just let me move things around here. So these are the coordinating colors. You always find them down here. I like to write them nice and big so I can see them at a glance. But there are a lot of colors, and of course you can always add more. That's not exclusive. So where do you find it? You find it in the annual catalog on page 34 and 35. So here is the paper, but then here's the whole suite of products. So here's the stamp set, the dies. You can see these two here, some gorgeous embellishments here. And then you see some cards, some ideas made with these materials as well. Some just basically stamping and some die cutting. So there's different levels of however much effort you want to put into it. So that's where it's found, and I see lots of highs. That is super. I'm so glad. So I had some of these pieces of paper on my Facebook page and group today and asked you to choose what color you would like me to use with this. And hands down, it got narrowed down to these two. And believe it or not, Cajun Craze won. And I think it was Kathy said, we have seen a lot of Night of Navy used with these, but we haven't seen Cajun Craze. And we're heading into fall, so why don't we try a fall color? And actually, Kathy, that was one of the reasons I chose this sheet from that paper. So we are going to use Cajun Craze as our card base, and we're going to make a really neat card here tonight. So I'm going to start with how I cut the paper. So I've got a piece of designer paper here that is, let me just double check, I'm 5 1/4 by 12. All right. So then when I cut it, where did I put my notes? Well, how do you like that? I had my notes right here and I have misplaced them. Well, when you cut it, it's 5 1/4 by 5 3/4. Yay for the glass mat. So it's 5 3/4 here. And then we cut a piece that is 5 1/4 by 2, oh, there it is, by 2 1/4. I just found my cheat sheet. And then we cut a piece that is 5 1/4. So they're all 5 1/4 wide by 3/4. So we're going to save these two. This is extra, but you can see when you cut the 5 1/4, you get these pieces, and you could use this on the doing something. We'll just put it to the side right now. And we're going to put these two to the side. We're going to bring this in, and with the 5 3/4 at the top. So this is 5 3/4. We are going to score it at, I've already scored it, so I have to make sure I'm in the right spot. We're going to score it at 4 inches. And this card, we are actually going to be seeing both sides of the designer paper. So that's a pretty neat kind of thing. So let's burnish that fold. And we're going to turn this into a gift card holder or a money holder or a photo holder or a holder for tickets or whatever. So I want to take a little notch out of this. Now I can use anything that's going to be make a shape. I can use a circle punch. I can use something like this. I could use the modern label punch. They're all good to use. And we're going to come in on this short piece right here and just take what I call a little bite. So I'm going to eyeball it and try to see if they're about the equal on either side and take that little bite out. And there we've got it like that. So it just makes it look a little bit, I don't know, makes it look like we're supposed to tuck something in. So I'm going to put a bit of adhesive on each side just to hold my pocket closed like that. And then I'm going to put this to the side and we're going to work on the card base. So the card base is a regular half sheet of cardstock. Pardon me. So it's 5.5 by 8.5. But we're going to score it not in the middle this time. We're going to score it at 2.5. So we'll bring it to 2.5 and score it. And you can use your scoring tool. And some of you say it doesn't go deep enough for you. Remember, you can always use your bone folder and run it through there too. So 2.5 and, oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. And 6 3/4. So we'll open up the arm. I love Stampin' Up's paper trimmer. It's just super. And we'll score it again right here. So what we have done is we have created 2 flaps. They're not equal, so they're going to be like that. This is going to be the card base. So let's burnish those folds. They're meeting in the middle. Just like that. And we're going to bring this in and put it here, and this in and put it here. And I have done something wrong. Let me find. Oh, I was supposed to. I'm going to cut another piece of paper. I was supposed to. Oh, look at that. I have another half piece here. I was supposed to cut this down. It's not supposed to be 8.5. So let's bring the paper trimmer back in. It's supposed to be 7.5. So I knew it wasn't looking quite right. So we're going to cut off 1 inch. Now we're going to score it at 2.5, 2.5, and 6 3/4. Now we're back on track. Because I knew there was supposed to be. So that, is that right? 6 3. Oh, this is going to be one of those nights. Did I cut it at 7.5? 7.5, 2.5, and 6 3/4. Yeah? It should be. Maybe. So you're going to see how this works here. It's supposed to be 7 3/4. My apologies here. I wrote down the wrong measurements, and that's throwing me right off. 3rd time's the charm, right? So we're cutting it at 5.5 by 7 3/4. There we go. And now we're going to score it at 2.5 and 6 3/4. Yes, that's looking better. So we're going to fold this in and fold this in. And we have a space. It does not meet in the middle. We have this space here. So there we go. Yes, we all make mistakes, and we can always figure out a way of fixing them, right? So thank you. So now we're going to fasten on. Let's regroup here. We're going to fasten these 2 pieces on. And I know that this is going to show through, so that's why we're going to do it this way. This is gorgeous colors too. How many of you love fall colors? I love all the colors, I have to admit, but when the leaves start to change and stuff, I am just in awe of the colors, I think. All right, so these 2 panels were cut so that you just have an equal border all the way around. So that's going to go on there. And I have to admit, I would never have put these two colors together, except when you see them in this designer paper, they look really good. And navy and pumpkin or orange go together really well, and Cajun Craze has enough orange in it to kind of pull it together. So now we've got it looking like that. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take this and fasten it in here so that it's peeking through like that. Doesn't that just make all the difference in the world to add that into the middle? It ties it all together. So let's do that. So we're going to add some glue to this edge here. Now, I learned how to make this card from a demonstrator named Jill Olsen, and she learned it from a demonstrator named Elizabeth Price, and I've seen other people do this. So it is a fold that's been around a while, but it's just such a good one, and it definitely is a great way to use designer paper. So I'm just gluing that down there. Did you see how I rested this here and made sure that I could fold the card? So there we go, and it doesn't go all the way to this fold, so it's not going to bind. So when you open it up, you're going to see this, which is going to match the front, and so on. So there we go. Now, this is something that's from the annual catalog, and I know many of you now have this catalog in your hands. How many of you have this catalog? I thought it'd be fun to use something from this catalog, so combine a sneak peek with some paper like this. So we're actually going to, I can't show you the inside, but the sneak peek that we're going to do tonight is what was used to make these little houses on the front. So that's where I'm getting the rest, or the stamp set. So the stamp set is called Humble Home. Now, I absolutely love this. Irene, you're still waiting for yours? Oh, I feel for you. It'll be any day now, right? This stamp set, it's got a bit of a Christmas vibe to it. So it's got Christmas and like a gingerbread house and a wreath. But it's great for housewarming, for Valentine's, for a welcome, as a thank you. It's great for all kinds of things. And what's even better is it comes as a bundle. I've got to angle this so you can, oh, you're just going to see me. I'm going to flip it over. It has a little house punch that fits these two here. And then there's a little heart and a little square and a little hole as well. New home. Yes, it's perfect for a new home, Roz. In fact, that was the first card I made with this, was for a new home. So we're going to use this and combined with this. And then we also are going to use the online exclusive dies called Greetings of the Season. And we're going to use this biggest one here. So we're doing a little bit of everything. So we're going to bring in the tag, and the tag is going to rest somewhere like that. It's going to form the focal point of our card. So we've got the tag. We have got this to go on the inside, and we'll deal with that in a minute. And now we need to punch out some houses, and I thought it would be fun to do it in these colors. So one of the suggested colors that goes with this paper is peach pie, and you can sort of see that it goes in with that a little bit. I've got Cajun Craze and Night of Navy, so I'm going to bring in that punch and punch out one of each. So I'll go this way. We'll make a little bit of confetti here as well. And this one here. Whoops, I want the heart too. There we go. So now we want these houses. And we want the coordinating hearts. I lost one heart here. Where did you go? I guess I'll do another heart. I'll just come in from the corner and get one more heart. There we go. Like that. And we'll get rid of these pieces. We're not going to use them on this card. And then we're going to take the hearts and we will, oh, I don't know, put one on here, one on, whoops, this is upside down. One on here. Well, did you see that though? You can have it so that the chimney's on either side. I want all of my chimneys on the same side, just because. There we go. We've got it like that. So I'm going to fasten the hearts on. And when I have little pieces like this, I find my take your pick tool is my biggest friend. Better flip that one over too. And I just am going to put a little dab of glue and then press my small element down there. A little dab of glue and press it down. I will clean up that mess in a minute. And that mess. I could have put them on glue dots as well or whatever, but I like to do it this way. And then I bring in a cloth and just dab up any glue. You could use a paper towel too. I just dab it and get rid of it. There we go. We have it like that. Now we're going to bring in this and just arrange our houses on here. I think, oh, before we do this, I have to do something else. I want to stamp on this one. So we are going to use the stamp from our house to yours, but all we want to use is from our house. So there are a couple of ways you can do that. You've often seen me take something sticky like a Post-it note and blocked off one and then use the ink. The other way is you can use your marker. And this is an older marker, so it doesn't have all of the new markings on it, but it will do just fine. So I am going to use the brush tip of my marker and on the side, just brush it across like that, trying not to get anything else. This is one way to get more than one color on a stamp. And before you stamp with it, give it a little huff. Your moisture from your breath reactivates it. So from our house, there we go, just like that. Now we're going to clean this because we want to use the rest of the words on the inside. There we go. And I'm going to make sure it's clean by bringing in some scrap paper and stamping on it. Make sure it doesn't leave a mark. Sometimes if my Stampin' Scrub needs cleaning, it does leave a mark. So I want to make sure. Okay, so if I go like this, maybe put this one on dimensionals. We can dress that up. I think we're on the right track. Let's go. Can you imagine these houses done with, say, the Country Woods designer paper? That's the designer paper with all the wood grain. I think that would look really neat. And we'll do, I'm just going to stagger these like that. Oh, maybe I want to go in a little bit more. Let me just see, am I happy with where everything's landing up? I think that will work. Okay, and this one I'm going to put on dimensionals. So we'll bring in our dimensionals. Like that. So how many of you were interested in this bundle? Did it catch your eye? Or what are some bundles or some stamps or some things from the new mini catalog that have caught your eye? If you're like me, new things every day, but is there something that's caught your eye? So now remember, this is going to open like that. So I'm going to fasten this here, but I'm only going to put adhesive on this side because I don't want to glue my card closed. So my decision is, do I want to put it on dimensionals or leave it flat? Usually I use dimensionals, but this time I'm going to leave it flat. Just because by the time you put a gift card or something inside, you are going to end up with a lot of bulk, and you might want to just have it flat. So the one with the skates and sled. Oh, sophisticated sled. Yes, Linda, I love that one too. So what I could have done is angle this, but I've already put the glue down, so we're going to keep it straight like that. And now we will just do a few finishing touches and the inside. So how many of you are liking this fold? I love it. Okay, one of the other new things in the mini catalog is this. It's called Natural Tones Linen Thread. I love linen thread. Oh, there's my missing heart. Okay. And this linen thread is colored. Some of you have seen my Mossy Meadow. Oh, my Mossy Meadow is somewhere else. When I tried to color linen thread one time, I actually sliced my ink pad. But we're going to use one of these, and they actually go with this card beautifully. So should I use the green, the copper, or the navy to tie a little bow? What do you think? While you're doing that, I'm going to bring in something else. So green, Cajun, copper, whatever, navy. Okay, that's the first one I am seeing. So we'll bring in the navy and we'll just tie a bow like that. I'm so thrilled that we have these colors. They will go with so many different things. Bring my little tray in. And let's see, where should we put it? I think it could go right about there. So you can fasten this on two ways. You can put a little dab of the liquid glue, or you can bring in your mini glue dots. And I like to, while they're on here, just kind of roll them up because they're too wide, but I make them long and narrow. I can't even pick up my bow. There we go. And put it on there. And if I think it's going to be sticky somewhere, I give it a little nudge and tuck it in. So there we've got it like that from our house. Sometimes I like to catch those ends and make them go where I want them to go. And then one more thing that's from the mini catalog, and this is called Earth Tones Shimmer Gems. So it goes beautifully with this paper here, even though they're from different catalogs. It's copper clay, very vanilla, crumb cake, and garden green. Now, if you're ever wondering what colors are these and you can't figure it out, if you enter the code in when you're shopping, and that gives an explanation, and there's the colors there. So we have these colors, and I think I'm going to go with this here, just to bring up, you have to have a little bit of embellishment. Actually, that kind of gets lost. Maybe I will bring in this one. That shows up a little bit better. There we go. So there we have it, like that. Now all we have to do is the inside. So we could plop that in, but we've got it decorated up a little bit. And remember, we wanted to do the other half of this. So we said from our house, now we want to do from our house to yours. I better make sure I'm coloring the right words, right? So from our house to yours. So when you're adding color to a stamp, like, do you like to use a marker like this, or do you like to block it off with something like a post-it note or something and do it that way? Or do you just not bother? All right, now this stamp set is just too cute and we need something on the inside, right? So I thought, why not bring in some of these, and what we're going to do is we're going to use the peach pie and Cajun craze, and we're going to do the house in peach pie, but we're going to stamp it off because it's on the inside and we want it a little lighter. We want the words to be the focal point. So I'm going to ink this up. These bricks would look great as a red brick, right? So stamp it off once. Boy, I've got a juicy ink pad. And stamp it here. Just like that. And now we're going to close up the peach pie before I do something, stick something in it, and open up the Cajun craze. And now we're going to put the roof on the house. And make sure I do it right on camera. So there we go, just like that. Ooh, I love that. I was practicing earlier. I can't say it was always quite that successful. Then we've got the doors and the windows. So let's, or the door, pardon me, singular. Just like that. And look at that. Isn't that so cute? So we'll move this out of the way and close this up. Fasten that inside the card and we're all done. So I saw some of you were really liking this fold. I'm so glad. It's one that's been in my pile of things to show you for a while. Now I chose to use 3 3/4 by 5 for this. You could have used 4 by 5 1/4, whatever. But you can see you've got your little pocket here. You've got your colors. You can see both sides of your designer paper. When you close it up, it's just peeking through like that. Maggie, you like the idea of using the markers to, yes, you can then get lots of colors on one stamp. It's really, really a fun thing to do. Now I'm going to just show you a couple of other cards using this fold. So this was 12 by 12 paper. So I used 6 by 6 paper on this card, but I had to use 2 sheets, not all of it, but you likely recognize the paper. And then I used the same dies for this here. So this is how that one went. Then again, you get to see both sides of this designer paper. So there's that one. And then I was having such a good time, I had to go get some specialty paper. So this is the Nature's something or other. Can't forget the Nature's. Maybe one of you can remember the name of it and put it in. And I did a little embossing, and this time I used a circle in the background and just die cut this out of the paper. And there it goes like that. And then I used a little piece of the die cut here. So when you use basic white, you don't need to put a panel in here, but you can see that you could use pretty much any paper, whether it's 6 by 6 or 12 by 12. So leave me a comment, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube. What's a designer paper that you think you will use? Yes, a beautiful wedding card. Just a beautiful card, period. So we've got different looks happening here, and that's what I like about a good fold. So Nature's Sweetness. Oh, thank you, Linda. I knew somebody would remember that. So of these 3 cards, which one? The hello one, the house one, the nature one, which one is speaking to you right now? And is this making you brave enough to cut into your designer paper and start using it? I hope you've enjoyed this whole series during the month of August, and that it's been helpful for you to be brave and use that paper. Remember, if you have questions or if you want to purchase anything and you don't have a demonstrator, just reach out. I'd be glad to help you. I think that's it. Remember, though, the designer paper sale is ending, so you want to really take advantage of it and stock up. All right. Yes, and some beautiful Christmas paper coming. Yes, so this would make some great Christmas cards. Right, Bonnie? Thank you for mentioning that. Thank you, everybody. Take care, and bye-bye.